January 13th, 1943. Navy Department, 120 North Holt, Bureau of Yards and Docks, Naval Reserve Aviation Base, Ottumwa, Iowa. I'm just going to pause right here. This is not the address of the Bureau of Yards and Docks. This is her home address, so she's making a joke here that the base is based out of her apartment.
Oh.
So I wanted to call this out for any historians who are like, well, here's the actual address of Ottumwa, or the people from NIS Ottumwa. Nope, this is a joke. This is a joke.
Your own birth. Okay, that's funny. She's funny.
Yeah. Dear Jean, at long last, all my wishing and hoping and everything. Doris Rabinold and I had made arrangements to go to a show on Saturday night after a light lunch in town, and then just casually drop by to the little Passion Pitto to see what was cooking. Well, in the afternoon, one of the married lieutenants, whose wife is not here, and who is a casual friend of ours, up and asked her to go with him to the officers' club for a little while. So our plans had to be considerably altered. We went shopping for Doris, a new dress, after we dawdled over our suppers. By the time we got the dress, it was time for her to meet the lieutenant, and rather than be a tar bucket, I decided that I'd go home and just go to bed. I went home and tried to clean up a few things, and then decided at 10:30 that I just couldn't stand to go to bed. So I got dressed again in just a sweater and skirt and decided that I'd amble down for a sandwich or something, and just casually drop into the pit. I stuck my head in and saw the crowd and decided, nuts, I wasn't going to stay down there by myself with all the drunks, and so I turned around and started out again, and somebody came up behind me and grabbed my arm. I turned around prepared to slug a drunk, and it was Indiana. He said, "You're not going, are you?" I said, "Yes." "I don't think I'll stay. It's too crowded, and there is no place to sit." Well, he said, "I'll look for a booth, and even if we can't sit, we can dance. Now, don't go away." And he came back very shortly and said he'd found a booth. So I went back and we stayed until they rolled up the bar, and then he walked me home. Made a date for the next night, and we went to see Ice Capade's review and something else. They were both good shows, and afterwards we went to the Pink Pig and sat and talked until about 11:15, and then we went home. He took me to the Navy dance and the Eagles Lodge last night. He came for me at about 9:15, after having called me to tell me he'd have to be a little late. It was the nicest dance they've had for the Blue Jackets, and the Navy band was really swell. He took me home, of course, and said he had to stand watch tonight until 12, but that he would call me in a day or two. I remember he said that once before, too. So, I'm trying to make my hopes and imagination behave themselves. Gee, I think he is just swell. You've watched him dance. You know how good he is, and how nice-looking he is. He has Indiana's slow, mannerly way. And I have so much fun with him that I sort of lose my bearings, I guess. I've been with him 3 nights in succession. Okay, I didn't want to interrupt her here because she's in quite a story.
I wanted to stop it so bad, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so Indiana,
the nickname for whoever this is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So he must be from Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, I would take it. Yeah,
which is kind of funny because this reminds me of like the Zombieland movies where they just name each other where they're from.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that kind of hit me with it. But oh goodness, she has found somebody.
Yep.
And she thinks he's just swell.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love. There's a couple just her lines here. Yeah. I love that rather than be a tar bucket.
Tar bucket, yeah.
The tar bucket line, yeah, like. Well, I'm going to be the draining of the party. I'm just going to be the party pooper. So back then,
she went home and then she was like, "Nah, I'm going out." Like, yeah. And at 30, she was.
It's good night.
I've been there, and she did. And then look what happened.
Right. I just love also. She's like, "Oh, there's too many drunks about. I'm going to slug a drunk." Like, what is it she said? Yeah, I'm prepared. Like, if you're starting any nonsense, and then there's this guy, and she's like, "Oh." And then she winds up going out. What I also think is really funny is she made the date for the next night. They went to see Ice Capade's review and something else. She rarely forgets what she watched. And the fact that she can't remember, she wasn't paying attention to whatever else was going on.
She is smitten.
Yeah, totally.
And it's clear, like definitely this was a I'm getting it all out. You know, it's very exciting.
Yeah, and what was in a previous episode, there was a letter where she's like, I'm digging my pit and I'm going to push someone right inside. This, to me, is that moment, right? Where she's like, oh, I'm going to dig my pit. And the funny thing is, the place is called the Pit.
The Pit.
So
there's no coincidences.
Right. I mean, yeah.
There's no coincidences.
Yeah.
I love that. This is how it happens. This is how you meet that person.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it just,
yeah.
I love it. I love love. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep going. There's more.
See how it happens. Yep.